Hi guys, welcome to this Chris Ryan golf video. The video today is based around curve on the golf ball. So many golfers will hit the golf ball with excessive curve. The most predominant one of those is left to right, recognised as a slice or a push slice. But we're going to talk about why the ball curves. And if we can start to understand why the ball curves, it generally leaves us in a better position to do something about it, or at least manage it on the golf course. So there are two real reasons why the ball will curve. The first one, which we're not really going to talk about today, is through contact points. So if we miss the middle of the golf club, either towards the heel or towards the toe, we're going to get some sort of curve on the golf ball. So if we strike towards the inside part of the club, the heel, for a right-handed golfer, that's going to produce quite a lot of left to right curve. If we hit the ball off the end of the club, the toe, that's going to produce a lot of right to left curve for a golfer. For the purpose of this video, we're going to assume that the golf ball is being hit from the centre, so we can eliminate that first method. A centred contact gives no gear effect, so we can start to look at a different way that the ball will curve. So if it's not through a miss-hit, then the other way that the ball will curve is when there's a disagreement between the club path and the club face. And what we're going to do is you're going to use a few alignment sticks to highlight these and show you the differences. So the first stick we've got on the ground here, this sort of green alignment stick, is a ball to target line. So very simply, it starts from my golf ball and extends towards my target up the range. The two orange alignment sticks we've got here, we're going to use these to represent the club face and the club path. Now we know that those aren't constant. We know that the path of the club is always changing as we're swinging it on an arc, and we also know that the club face alignment can change relative to that. But what we're doing is we're looking at the moment of impact, which really is the only important position in the golf swing. So if we use this first stick and use this as the club face, and we're going to pop that one the same as the ball to target line. Okay, so club face, same as the target line. This one's going to represent the club path, and again we're going to put that the same as the ball to target line. So if we can hit the golf ball, and at the point of contact the golf club is momentarily travelling towards my target, and the club face is pointing towards my target, then we get an agreement between the face and the path, and we're going to get a dead straight shot. In this instance, it's going to be at my target. But the main point there is if the club path and the club face agree with each other, the ball will fly straight. Now that might not necessarily be towards your target, because they could agree, but they could be over to the right, or vice versa over to the left. So if we had this situation where the golf club is travelling to the right, and the club face is pointing to the right, we're also going to get a straight shot. There's going to be no curve in that golf ball, but as you can probably see there, it wouldn't fly at my target, it would fly to the right of the target. So if we start to look at left to right curve, excessive left to right curve, so ones that would miss the fairway, sort of slices, push slices, what can cause that? Well, if we first of all leave the club face aiming at my target. So at the point of contact, my club face is aimed where I want the ball to go. However, if my golf club is travelling to the left of the target, we've suddenly created an angle between those two orange alignment sticks. Now we've got a difference between the club face and the club path, we've created some curve. Because the club face is more to the right than the club path, the ball's going to curve to the right. So this angle, this situation will cause a slice. Now what we need to understand is that this golf ball would finish way to the right of target with my driver, even though at the point of contact my club is pointing where I want the ball to go. Now that's quite an important concept, because most golfers, if they see the ball move left to right and finish right of the fairway or right of the target, they would automatically assume that the club face is left open. As we can see from this, that's not necessarily the case. We've just got a disagreement between the two. So very often what we'll see on the golf course is that golfer who hits this ball off to the right with a curve would believe that the club face is open. On the next shot, what they try and do, they try and over-rotate the face, increase the rate of closure, and get the club face to point more left. Now if we do that, we're going to get over towards this situation here. Now you can see that the club face was more left, which is what the golfers tried to do. We've now got an agreement, so we're going to get a straight shot, but that's also going to miss the fairway because that's now a straight shot to the left. So misdiagnosing the fault can often lead to the wrong fix, which can often lead to a different ball flight, but maybe not the one we're after. So if we go back to the situation we had here, so because there was an angle between those two, we created some left to right curve. So what happens if we have the club path correct, but the club face to the right? Now what you can see here is at the moment of contact, my club face was pointing off to the right, but my club was travelling towards my target. This ball will curve exactly the same through the air. The angle between the two sticks is still the same, so the ball will have the same amount of curve. The difference is the starting direction will be more to the right. So this ball will start further right and then curve to the right. So we can hit the golf ball left to right, missing targets, with the club path to the left or the club face to the right. In short, if there's an angle between the two alignment sticks, we will create some curve. Now we could have a situation where they're both off. So we've got the club path to the left and we've got the club face to the right. Now, as you've probably seen from the camera angle, the angle between the two sticks is even greater now. So we've created more of an angle, so we've created more curve. The added disadvantage to something like this is that when the club points to the right and the club swings to the left, we generally get more of a glancing blow. We don't get as much speed into the golf ball. The smash factor isn't as good. We don't hit the ball as fast. It's very, very weak. If we can get the club working across with an open face, not particularly powerful. Now, what we want to try and do is get the angle as narrow as we can. That's going to give us a more neutral ball flight. What happens though if we get something like this? So the furthest left one is the club path, so that's more to the left, and this is the club face, which is also to the left. Now the important thing here is that the club face, which is this one, is still to the right of the club path. Now from what we've just said, we will get some left to right curve. The difference between this one is this one will start left of target and it will move back towards the target. This is a more functional golf shot. Okay, it's not going to be dead straight, it's certainly not going to be a draw, but it's more playable. It will start left semi-rough, and it will move to the right, probably stay within play. So this is okay. And what this really demonstrates is that left to right curve is not that bad. We just need to manage it, understand what we need to create down here, and we can start to get some more functional golf shots, as I say. The ideal way of reducing somebody's curve is to make this angle much narrower. As we've said, the wider the angle, the more curve we're going to get. We would generally see that it's the club path to the left that creates the curve. Very often the club face can be a little bit open as well, so we can get sort of this situation. And what we really need to do with that golfer is change two things in an ideal world. We would move the club path so it gets closer to the ball to target line, and we would also move the club face and get that closer to the ball to target line. This is going to give us a much more neutral golf shot, and that's really what most golfers are after. Okay, so if we can start to understand what's happening at the point of contact when we hit the golf ball, we can start to understand where these ball flights come from. And if we can start to understand that, we can start to be in a better position to, as I say, manage it, play with it, or maybe even change it. Okay, so start to look at your ball flights on the golf course. Where does the ball take off? What's the curve? What happens when you try and over-rotate the face? All these kind of things will lead you down a route and hopefully help you sort of get a better idea of what's happening at the point of contact. Because really, that's the only bit of the golf swing that dictates where the ball goes. So, based around ball to target line, try and have a look at what the path is, what the face is, and hopefully from there you can make a few adjustments and keep the ball in play more.